Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for September of 2024. We are going to jump right in here. You have this Fates card. I love this card. It kind of says that you are headed in a fated direction. And you have this Come to the Edge card. The Come to the Edge card is about pushing yourself to that point where you would normally give up on something and then, kind of like going a little bit further. I would definitely encourage Pisces at, these last few months of this year, if there's anything that you really want, I would really kind of like go for it. I think that, there's just this really good opportunity for you to kind of like accomplish more than you have all year at the end of this year. So I would do whatever you can to kind of like, kind of make things happen and, to really kind of, put things together, especially if you're thinking about, putting in work or launching projects or whatever. And it's probably not going to be easy, but, what I would say is if you do the extra work, I think you will get the results. So, I think that there is an opportunity for major success, especially with these two cards here. But you're going to have to do something to kind of like really make it happen. You even have the Chariot, you have the Ten of Wands, which is about like really putting in the work. And I feel for a lot of you that, there could be a lot of like fated success coming in for you. But, the Ten of Wands really tells me that you're going to have to put in kind of like the focus or the work. And you even end with a card that says focus on it. So I think, and here's the other thing as well, is like, this does not mean that you shouldn't have a life. I think whenever I see cards like focus and, especially with the Ten of Wands, which I actually feel the Ten of Wands is going to be a good result for you. It's like a good card in your reading. I always think the Ten of Wands is good no matter what, really, but it just feels good to me because, I think you're getting paid your worth or you're, getting paid what you deserve or whatever. But what I would say is that, it would be, this doesn't mean you don't have a life. It means, yes, you could be working hard, but it would be better for you to work like 4 focused hours than it would be for you to work 8 hours every single day where you're just all over the place. So make sure you're focusing. You have the Chariot, the Page of Swords, and the Lovers. The Chariot is a victory. I think people are starting to notice you. You have that Page of Swords. Sometimes people read Page of Swords as a spy or someone who has their eye on you. I kind of get the feeling that like a lot of people could be seeing your successes, and so people could be attracted to you. You have the Lovers here as well, but the Chariot is about setting yourself apart and being victorious. And but again, I kind of really just get the feeling that the Page of Swords is kind of saying like all eyes on you at this time, Pisces. And I wanted to look at these two cards as well that the Page of Swords is looking at. So this card says soul, and then you have one that also says balance as well. And we also have the Seven of Swords right here. These two cards can be rather tricky together, right? They can both represent like a tricky energy or, a trickster vibe in a person, right? And so, but I kind of feel like you are attracting a lot of people right now if you want love. And so I feel like this is saying like, make sure you're attracting a balanced person. I also feel that you should pay attention to a person's soul. You're a Pisces. You can pretty much see into other people's souls. And I wouldn't even just say in love, with all people that you're dealing with at the end of the year here, I would make sure that you are kind of like tapping into their soul and making sure that they are good people. As I always say, I don't think the Seven of Swords is really a bad card. Either it's a golden card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. And really also, just looking at the connection in the reading, we have Chariot, Seven of Swords, and Seven of Wands. 2 sevens to me represents internal fears that don't exist. So in a lot of ways, really it's like the sevens are connected. It's not so much the Page of Swords and the Seven of Swords that are connected, even though they are connected. I know that's confusing, but I think that those two cards together are more saying, pay attention to a person's soul, pay attention to the things that they say, do, pay attention to the evidence, and you'll be fine. But you do have the Lovers here, and I do feel like there could be love that's coming in for you. I do feel also that there is something different about the approach. One thing could be that you are about to be very busy at the end of the year here. And so, obviously if you're busy, making time for a person could be a little bit of a challenge, but I do feel it's possible, if you make the time. I also feel that really if you're saying that you're too busy, that this reading, and not just for love, I'm just saying in general, right? Like if you're saying I'm too busy to go out, I'm too busy to go do something fun that I enjoy, then I think that your solution is this last card, the focus card. I feel like it's saying, well, if you're saying you're too busy, you're not focused. And again, not a criticism. I would just, make sure that instead of being busy, that you're being focused and doing the right things, right? With the Chariot, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. Makes perfect sense to me that there would be a major change in direction at the end of the year for you here. So with the Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him and he's going in a new direction. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it to do all the work that you've been doing up until this point, or is there a better way for you to do things? With the Page of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, I mean, some of you could be moving away from a person as well, or you could just be deciding to move away from people who kind of, play their cards close to their chest, so to speak, right? I kind of get this feeling on the Page of Swords that maybe what you've dealt with in relationships is not necessarily people who lie, although, that's possible, but maybe you've dealt with people who kind of like hold things in and don't communicate and all this other stuff. So, the Six of Swords, I don't necessarily feel you're moving away from a specific person, although that could be part of it. I feel this is more a decision that you're making to avoid people who don't open up, plain and simple. With the Lovers, you have the Page of Wands. Some of you are clearly going on this new adventure of love, or maybe you're in this position where you are looking for love. You have the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Cups. It's kind of funny because I always say to your opposite sign, Virgo, that love is changing for Virgo. But, Virgo being your opposite sign, love could also be changing for you. It's like your approach to love is changing, or how you feel about it is changing, which could be a good thing. Again, this could be, it's like maybe you're not looking for love, but maybe, love is always in our lives. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be things that you love. And I think your approach to love is changing. But again, that doesn't have to mean a person. It could be anything. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Balance card and the Soul card. I think it's really funny that this Balance card has a clock on it. We all have the same 24 hours a day, but how you use it is what's important. So I think that for a lot of you, especially not, I know that this is a September reading, but I really feel it is talking about, the rest of the year, even though I just did rest of the year readings. I still feel like this reading for you, Pisces, is, pretty much what you will be doing for the end of the year. And I think that focusing on your time and using it wisely is going to be very important for you. The Soul card is, again, I feel like Pisces is kind of, and I've said this before, is, I think Pisces is getting their X-ray vision back. It's like it's almost like that, that just inner knowing of things is what's returning to you. And I think that you are getting much better at seeing to the center, the soul of whatever it is that you're dealing with, whether it's a person, place, or a thing, doesn't really matter. And I would start trusting your intuition is kind of what that's saying to me. You have the Death card, the Seven of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. The Death card would be a big change, especially with the Chariot. Again, the Chariot is leaving behind everything that he has known, and the Death card is a change. So you could be making a major change, and it looks like you're making a big change in your work. We go Ten of Wands to the King of Pentacles. Ten of Wands is like a burden. The King of Pentacles and the good stuff would be wealth, or would be you building your wealth or improving your wealth. So I feel that a lot of you are maybe becoming more efficient, or you're doing things where you don't have to work so much. And I really feel that's what your focus should be. Like, are there ways to, make yourself more efficient in work or business? Are there better ways to do things so you're not spending so much time just working, right? You have the Seven of Swords. Again, Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but the Seven of Swords really is a card of tactics and doing things in a different way. Instead of going to war, he is stealing those swords from an army in the background. So I always like to remind people that on a personal level, the Seven of Swords says there are probably better ways to do pretty much everything that you do every single day. You're going to have to do your research, but, the Seven of Swords reminds me of efficiency. Instead of going to war, no one has to die by doing what he's doing, right? He's taking those swords so that, they can't be used against him in battle, and there won't even be a battle because of that. So it's like basically saying, are there better ways or tactical ways you could do what you're doing? Seven of Swords also comes up when we're taking things too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot come up when we are like taking things too seriously, or we need to be more playful. And I would say that this year especially, a lot of people have been getting the Seven of Swords. I even did a reading, I did a interview like a few weeks ago now, and the person was saying, like, what's the most common card you see right now? I always say Seven of Swords. It comes up for everybody right now. So I think we all are taking things too seriously. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. So I think that it would be much, much better for you to, again, like have like 4 focused hours of work. Like I think your 4 focused hours of work at this time might be equal to like 12 hours of work where you're not focused. So I would make sure that, if you're trying to build a business, or if you're working on a side project or a side hustle, something like that, I would like, set a certain amount of time. Maybe it's only an hour, maybe that's all you have, but as long as it's like driven and focused and, kind of one thing, I feel you'll be successful. But the Two of Pentacles also says, like, don't forget to play, especially with that Seven of Swords. I feel like the Seven of Swords is saying, don't forget to play. It's like, if we stop playing, and I've tried it, then, when I stop playing, when I stop doing things I enjoy, everything else starts to suffer, right? So, make sure to balance. With the Death card, you have the Hierophant. This could represent the death of establishment. The Hierophant is like traditional belief or traditional belief structures. And with the Death card, it could literally say that there are traditional belief structures that are dying. And, in November, we have Pluto moving back into Aquarius. And what I will say, it's going to stay for, years after that. That cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius, it's going from Capricorn to Aquarius, the cusp is the death of establishment. So we are literally in the time of the death of establishment. And, again, I think that there could just be certain belief systems that you're releasing, like maybe, it's hard to make money, or no one loves me, or whatever. It's like these personal beliefs are what you could be healing, which is a good thing. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, Four of Swords says you have healed to a certain point. So again, if you have dealt with like liars, cheaters, stealers, and I don't think that's true for all of you. I think that some of you have dealt with people who are basically like clams. It's like they are just like tightly shut, and they don't open up, right, in connections. Maybe they hold things close to their chest or never really let you in. And so I just see it more as a clam, right? A cute little clam that's buried in the sand, right? Sometimes it sticks its little foot out of its mouth, and it starts talking a bunch of BS. That's what you've dealt with for a very long period of time. And now I feel that it is time for you to maybe look for a person, this way, who is open, who is serious, who's actually looking for something. And it's probably a person you don't have to save as well, Pisces. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Page of Swords. I feel you have a choice. Remember what I said. I feel like a lot of people could be attracted to you at this time, or, over the next few months, if you're becoming more successful or something like that, or, maybe you're just glowing, maybe you're just standing out a little bit more. There could be a choice in love. I feel like picking a fun person is going to be a good idea for you, and maybe a person who pulls you out of your shell as well. Maybe picking a person who wants to like go do stuff, like wants to get out of the house and all that other stuff. But I kind of feel like you have some options. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this White Raven Spirit says, trust in magic. You have this Rhino Spirit says, overcome any obstacle. So maybe you need to believe that you can do something. I think part of the problem for Pisces is that, maybe your story for a long time is that you kind of like work on projects or your career or businesses. It's like you do everything that everyone else does, but I feel like your result is smaller, right? And I think that has been the challenge for Pisces, is like you do the same work, but the result hasn't been quite the same as the competition. And this could be work and business, could be in your personal life and your love life, and because we're always doing work in different areas. And I feel like this is saying that this has made you stronger. Like when you think about it, a rhino is a very strong animal. So I think that you need to believe that this was all meant to make you very strong. I also think you need to believe that you can overcome obstacles with the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands isn't really an obstacle, but the Ten of Wands, the story of the Ten of Wands is that he planted those 10 wands, and they are his harvest, and he is about to reach his home in the background, and he is about to have a harvest. So really, the Ten of Wands is kind of a good card because he's about to have a harvest. And I feel like you need to realize that, there is a harvest coming in for you. But the other thing is that those 10 wands are kind of like in front of his face. And so he can't really see past those 10 wands. Like he's just one foot in front of the other. He's too focused on the work, right? Because he's holding those wands that are in front of his face. And he doesn't realize how close he is to accomplishing his goal. So sometimes we have to maybe take a seat, right? Maybe you need to sit back and you need to say, like, look at how much I've accomplished so far. Or maybe you need to put things into perspective and say, like, look at all the work I have done, or look at how far I have come. And, sometimes we put things into perspective and it makes things much more possible. So you might be saying, like, oh my God, it's going to be impossible to do this business, or it's going to be impossible to be with this person, or, X, Y, whatever it is. And, I think if you look at what you've done so far, you'll be like, well, actually, my home is right there. It's right in front of me. I'm home, right? And I think you need to kind of like put things into perspective and say that. You have the Ace of Cups, big love offer. I definitely feel there could be a big love offer coming in for you. If we look at your astrology as well, it's like after September 4th or so, you have really good astrology for love entering into your life. So, it kind of makes sense to me that, in the month of September, you could be attracting a new connection. Ace of Cups would be a very happy connection. Your emotions overflowing, kind of getting what you want. So I feel that this could be love. You do have the Seven of Wands, and so the Seven of Wands kind of says that you need to open up. As a Pisces, I totally get it. So, I think as a Pisces, sometimes us Pisces, it's like we build a life where we are in a comfort zone, and then we don't necessarily like want to invite someone into that comfort zone because it'll make it uncomfortable. And so I think the Seven of Wands is saying that if you are meeting a new person, it would be worth it to open up. You have great cards for love if you want love. I don't think really this is a, quote unquote love reading. There's a little bit of love here. But you have great cards if you do want it. And I feel like the Seven of Wands is saying open up. The Seven of Wands is also saying that if you're thinking about doing something, with this card right here, the Come to the Edge card, I feel like these two cards are kind of saying that you are as prepared as you're going to be, and it's time to like push yourself to that point where you would normally give up. I think it's important that you don't give up on something and you really kind of like make it happen. So again, if something that you're working on isn't working, the Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is for you, it's for you. And it's it's like I don't have any good examples, but it's like I've been in marketing for 20 years now, and I've worked with clients and I've worked in my own businesses nowadays. I pretty much don't work with clients anymore. And, I've seen many times where it's like just a tiny little change will completely change the results of like a marketing campaign. And, yes, I realize that life isn't marketing, although it kind of is. But what I would say is that, sometimes I think if we just commit to something and we experiment our way through whatever it is that we're going through, that a tiny little change will kind of make a huge difference. So just by not giving up on something, you make it successful. And I feel like, the Seven of Wands is a card of persistence, right? We have the Nine of Wands, which is a card of perseverance, but you have to be persistent to be perseverant. So I kind of feel this Seven of Wands is also a little bit talking about the Nine of Wands, even though we don't have it here. So if you're working on something specific, and it's not working, I just feel minor changes could make all the difference. With the Ten of Wands, you have the King of Pentacles, which we have twice right here. If you are attracting love, it could be a Taurus or a person with Taurus in their chart. Doesn't have to be. Could be any sign. You have water, you have air, you have fire showing up here. You have Cancer, Scorpio. You basically have everything here, Pisces. So it could be whatever the hell you want. But the King of Pentacles, is usually a person who wants something long term. A person who really wants to make things work. And again, it doesn't have to be a man. It could be whatever gender you're into. But they could be a King of Pentacles type person, like someone who wants to build something of security. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Tower. This probably is going to be a surprise. It could be a Scorpio because we have two Scorpio cards right here. But I kind of feel like the Tower could be a surprise. I have a feeling that probably everyone is going to have the Tower again this month. I think at the end of the year here, we're going to have plenty of surprises. Let's put it that way. I can't say too much on YouTube, but I don't know. If you know, Pisces. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of shakeups, plenty of things happening. And, it just is what it is. But I would keep your head on straight. Don't panic if things do go down. The other thing I would say is that, again, I kind of feel like this is a good surprise, so I wouldn't even worry about it. Sometimes the Tower can just represent, a sudden change in your life, and that's it. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Queen of Wands. Yes, it could be a fire sign or someone with fire in their chart that is attracted to you for sure. And you have that Page of Wands. You have this Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is usually like bold, assertive, really goes for what they want. So the thing with the Page of Wands is you don't really know what you're going to get, right? With the Queen of Wands. She is my card of learning as you go. But I kind of get the feeling, just intuitively, that if you are meeting a new person, it might be one of those things where you're not really sure where it's going to go or how it's going to go. And I kind of feel the Seven of Wands saying, like, open up. Don't overinvest. Don't be a Pisces overgiver, right? Just give enough, and that's good. And then keep going forward and just see where it goes. But I think there could be a lot of attraction here because Queen of Wands would be a lot of attraction. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Reach for the Moon. It says go for it. Didn't I say go for it at the beginning of the reading? I'm pretty sure I did. So there you go, Pisces. I'm pretty sure I said the words go for it at the beginning of this reading. And there you go. So definitely time for you to go for something. You have this Moonbeams card. It says focus on it. I think that if you can focus on something, then that's what you should go for. Sometimes I think we try to force ourselves to do things, and we just can't focus on it. Like we can't get it done. It's like great example. It's like obviously years ago I hired an assistant to help me with social media. I never would have grown my Instagram without that because it just doesn't. It's not something that is interesting to me, right? And it's hard for me to get motivated to do that. To do the management of it and all that other stuff. I love doing the posts. I love the process of creating the reels and things like that. But it's like some of the other parts of it, I just don't. It's just boring to me, right? And so it's like sometimes we just have to focus on what we're good at, and we have to either get help or we have to find a system or do something to kind of delegate the rest. And I definitely feel that here, but I also feel like it's saying there are things that you want to focus on, and those are the things that you should be doing. You have the King of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Again, the King of Pentacles is a card of wealth, so I feel a lot of you could be increasing your wealth or your finances this month. Probably, I kind of have a feeling that this month could be much, much better than what you've experienced this year. So again, I always tell people nothing just happens in tarot. So just because the energy is saying that your finances could be much better this month doesn't mean they are going to be. So you need to do extra stuff. Like if you have a side hustle, do extra work. If you have a business, do extra work, or launch something or do something different, or experiment, right? Same thing if you have a job, right? Ask for a raise, ask for a promotion. Maybe people always say to me, my boss said no. I said, go get another job. Start looking for another job, right? Because we shouldn't just settle with what we have if we know we deserve more, right? Now, if you are getting paid fairly, then totally different story. But if you're not, then it's time to have a conversation, and it's time to either get them to say yes or go look for something else. You have the Four of Swords here. The Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. I really get the feeling in this reading it's talking about kind of that recovering through love, and I'm not talking about a person necessarily, although that could be part of it. I'm talking about the things that you love to do. And the Two of Pentacles really says that. So, and especially in your reading, I feel it intuitively. So I would make sure to carve out some time to do the things that you love to do, the hobbies, the fun stuff. Go see a movie, take yourself out for dinner, or go out to dinner, or do something, right? And I would really make that extra time. Again, I think that you don't see how valuable it will be. It's like in those moments where we do something, where we're in the flow, that's like the best way to get into flow state is to, do a hobby, because you're enjoying it, you're having fun, you're getting out of your head. That's when all the good ideas come in. So, that's what I would do. You have the Knight of Cups, definitely a knight in shining armor. Again, I kind of feel like the Tower is just saying this could be a freaking surprise, right here. So if you're attracting a person, it could be a Scorpio. You have Death and Tower. It could be a person who has Scorpio on their chart or something as well. But I also feel that the Tower could just be saying that it's kind of a surprise that a person is interested, right? Yeah, with the King of Pentacles, we have the Chariot. Love it. We start and end with the Chariot. I'm telling you right now, if you are making a change in the way that you work, this is clearly going to be a big victory for you. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He's looking at what he has grown so far, and he's wondering, what if I grow something else? What if I experiment with my business? All the examples I just gave you, I don't want to repeat myself, but you get it, right? If you do something differently with what you're doing, clearly that's where the victory is going to come from. With the Four of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands, so quick success coming in for you, and the Eight of Wands can also represent a quick conclusion. We have the Ten of Wands to the Eight of Wands, so this could say that you are kind of really focused on releasing some burdens this month. And with the Knight of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. So this, to me, looks like wish fulfillment, or you receiving something that you wish for, receiving something that you want. So I think that there could be a little bit of, kind of like wish fulfillment coming in for you here. Next, you have this finger. It says, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. Yeah, again, as I always say, I wouldn't ignore the problems that are going on in the world. I would pay attention, but I also wouldn't be paranoid. Again, as a Pisces, right? I totally understand the Pisces paranoia and kind of the worrying about things that are going on and all that other stuff. So make sure you don't over concern yourself with things. You have this bowl. It says plenty of material things. Can't make that up. I literally said that. I felt like September has kind of has the opportunity for you to really improve your finances. So that's what I would do. I would work on it. You have this younger woman. It says dealings or relationships with a younger woman. You have this lightning card. It says control your anger or you will be sorry. So the Tower with the Seven of Swords and the Four of Swords, Six of Swords, Page of Swords, if you dealt with a younger person, it doesn't have to be a woman, in the past, this could be a person trying to return to communicate with you after you have healed with the Four of Swords. So again, don't explode on this person, especially, if this is like an ex coming back or something like that. I think it would probably be best just to ignore it. You have this leg card. It says stepping into new experiences. Chariot twice, Seven of Pentacles, King of Pentacles twice. It's like whatever new things you can do this month are going to lead to, money, is what I would say. You have this candle. It says you will be shown the way. Yes, you will be shown the way, but you have to take that first step. So I think the universe is guiding you as well. But this is one heck of a reading, Pisces. Go for it, is what I'm going to say. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.